welcome to Grace and Fire. My name is Glenda. Well, this year has been one for the books, I'm just going to say. Normally, I sit down and I figure out what I'm going to plant in my garden and make a list. This includes how many tomato plants I need to make the different things that I enjoy. And quite frankly, I was on point with exactly how many tomatoes I needed. About halfway through the season, I inherited an abandoned garden with yet probably about 4 times the amount of tomatoes that I wanted. And to be honest with you, most of that went to friends, families, strangers that were in need. I just kept donating food to different people, but I still was stuck with a lot of tomatoes. So I'm going to show you a few things that I've done and show you my final recipe for the growing season. Obviously, I'm not going to show you everything that I made with tomatoes, but I just want to give you an idea. So I made a barbecue sauce really that tastes more like ketchup. So I wrote ketchup on there, but we can use it as barbecue. And as you can see, it is bourbon flavor. This stuff is so good. And then I made some salsa. Now, of course, I made bigger jars, but I personally like this size because, quite frankly, when I make a small recipe, this is about all I need. And this is not just for potato chips or corn chips or whatever you want to put them on. This really, I use it with rice. I use it to make crock pot meals. So this is exactly the right amount. So I have several of these little jars to make meals with. I have also made some spaghetti sauce. Isn't that just beautiful? I mean, oh, all the vegetables came from my garden. And then what you don't see is I made pizza sauce, so we're good there. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what these jars are all about. And these are freeze-dried tomatoes. This is just plain tomatoes that I just chopped up, flash freeze, threw them in the freeze dryer, and this is going to be great in soups and stews. I'm really excited about that. And then this is caramelized tomatoes that I caramelized first, then I flash froze and then threw them in the freeze dryer. I am so excited about this because this is going to make making things like quiche easier, or putting it on pizza. I mean, the sky's the limit with this. So this is so good and so exciting for this fall for the meals. Now, one other thing I'm going to show you is I have made fermented salsa. If you have never had fermented salsa, oh my goodness, as you can see, we've been eating on it. This is like the best thing ever. And quite frankly, it is as personal as your taste, like what you want in it. There's no real major recipe. It's just about getting the right salt content in there. But really, once you get the right salt in there, you can add tomatoes, bell peppers, jalapenos, cilantro, onions, or if you don't like cilantro, I hear some people using parsley. Really, the sky's the limit. You can omit, you can add more. It's really about what is your taste? What is your preference? Do you like it more spicy? Do you like it a little bit on the mild side? What I will say with fermenting, just a heads up, is that it will make your jalapenos just a little bit hotter. Not much, but a little bit hotter. But oh my goodness, this is our favorite salsa. It is it stays in the refrigerator after it's completely fermented for up to 6 months. It's really good. And that's actually what I'm going to show you how I make this recipe just for myself. You can add or adjust. Just check out all these beautiful vegetables. I have probably, it's kind of hard to see, but I have more cherry tomatoes down in here. And quite frankly, this is the end of my cycle of tomato again. Oh! Okay, I'm sorry, I'm excited. So I need to use these up, and of course there's places I'm gonna have to cut out, no big deal. And then my not my jalapenos, but my bell peppers rather, are not very big because, well, quite frankly, they're all small. We had a little bit of drought out there, and yeah, this is what I have left, and that's okay. I have a few of them, so I'm going to use them. I have some jalapenos down in here because I like the heat. And then earlier in the season, if you guys go back and you see through some of the videos, I grew garlic and I harvested it. So I'm going to be using that. And of course, my onions, and you saw that in a previous video. All right, as you can see, I have all of my tomatoes chopped up. Now, there are yellow cherry tomatoes. There are red cherry tomatoes. There's regular tomatoes. There's Dr. Witchy's yellow tomatoes. It's just all in here. There's no right or wrong with what kind of tomatoes you're going to be using. We're not too worried about the acidic level like you do in canning. So with this recipe, of course, I have all of my tomatoes chopped. I'm going to add a teaspoon of cumin. I'm going to add in my bell peppers. So there's my bell peppers, and then my garlic that I've chopped. We're going to add in a jalapeno, and then we're going to add in some diced onions. All right, so that's all in there. And then I'm going to be adding a tablespoon of unrefined salt. Don't use table salt. And then I don't have any fresh cilantro, but I have some freeze-dried cilantro, so I'm going to add a little bit of that. I'm not too worried about rehydrating it because, quite frankly, the salt will pull the juice out of the tomatoes, and it is going to help hydrate the cilantro. What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to give this a quick stir, just like so. And then I'm going to cover this and let it sit for about 10 minutes. And then I'm going to jar it up. I'm going to show you what's next in just a minute. So as I'm editing this video, I realized that I didn't explain the next clip that you're going to see. Originally, I used a 1/2 gallon mason jar. That's normally what I use. But as you can see, as I press this mixture down to get all the air bubbles out, it's getting too far down that my weight won't keep the food down. So you will see where I have switched over to a quart-sized jar. But I wanted to show this footage so that way you can see what you're supposed to do as far as pushing all of the food down and just really getting that air out. It's important for the fermentation process. Okay, so the next thing you need is a weight. You can use a rock inside of a Ziploc bag, or you can purchase weights. I got this one on Amazon. If you do it, make sure you get the kind where it's got like a little little knob in the middle. It makes things a lot easier. So I'm just going to put that on top, and as you can see, it pushed the food down underneath of the brine. I have a debubbler that I got from Mason Tops. So I'm going to put that on, and then I'm going to put a band on. Preferably, I like the plastic bands just because they don't rust. And so this is going to just be on there. I'm going to drop the links below if you're interested in purchasing some for yourself. And then here's a pro tip. Put your jar inside of a container, like something like you can use a baking pan or something, because this will degas and it will spill all over your counters. This just makes it so easy for quick cleanup. It's just something I've done for a long time. Anyhow, so you're going to let this sit, check this in about 3 days, taste it, see what you think. Normally, I like to make sure that it goes about 2 weeks is about average for me because I like that fermented taste. Anyhow, I hope you guys give this a try. If you do, let me know. We'll see you next time. Make sure you give somebody a hug. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.